is that the value lies in the relationship, and always has, and always, between the creator and the audience. And art to me is a verb. It's not a noun. It's not a thing. It's a
That's your quote for the conference.
It's a verb, and it's a verb that lives in the space between motions. And there's always a way to make that space denser, more rich, and more intimate. And for, I think, the creator to get paid better for the increasing intimacy of that interaction. And that strikes me as being the best way to approach it.
I mean, from the very beginning I've been going to these conferences for an awful long time, as you have, and I've always said, the answer is if you're trying to sell something, that you have to add some value.
Yeah.
That makes it, people want to do it, and it may be because your people are part of your fan club, that they get the first rows and tickets when you go out, or some way, and that you are, you're adding something so it's worth someone actually spending money on it, and then you think of the free, it's listening to it free, you're willing to sort of advertise.
It's not, it doesn't require that much imagination, I don't think. I mean, it seems to require more than the record industry has. But, that's because they're using all their imagination on idiotic schemes for DRM. There was a conference at Harvard 3 years ago, which was, as far as I can tell, it was the beat up on John Gray Barlow conference. Most of the industry was there, and I would have thought it was one-sided if I had known I was right. But I'm very arrogant. I'm sorry. But I said, look, I'm not going to harangue you guys. I've already said my piece, but I'm going to give you the good news and the bad news and the good news. The good news is that you've won in every legislative body in every court. Bad news is you buy them all. I don't know how you bought the courts, but you did. And you got WIPO, and you got the European Union. You got it all. So there it is. And the bad news is that your real protection still lies in your ability to make this stuff scarce by technical means. And the technology that you're bringing to bear is the stuff that you guys can come up with, and you're a bunch of 55-year-old putzes. And you're up against 17-year-old electronic Hezbollah who hate you. Who is going to win that? I ask you. That's bad news for you. But the good news is that you're mean sons of bitches, and you've been exploiting artists and audiences for a long time, and you'll come up with a way to do it this time. I have every faith in you. You've got to think better of yourselves. Get out of bed a little earlier in the morning. And show some imagination. But they, still are not quite ready to do that. I think death is probably preferable.